This is the Mother of Podcasts. We are thrilled to embark on this journey with you. This podcast is a safe space where we celebrate the beauty and chaos of motherhood, exploring the triumphs, tribulations, and taboo topics that come with it. From the little superstitions that you followed or questioned during your pregnancy to parenting gentle or not, and everything in between, we'll delve into the diverse experiences of women from all walks of life. We'll laugh, we'll cry, and we'll spark meaningful conversations that inspire and empower. Join us as we break down stigmas, challenge norms, and create a community that uplifts and supports one another. Whether you're a mom or a mom to be, or simply a woman with a story to share, this podcast is for you. So grab a cup of coffee, put on your comfiest shoes, and let's dive into the messy, magnificent world of motherhood together.
Chandan, uh, one of the mothers of Podcast. I am 32 years old. I have a 2.5-year-old toddler, and my life is pretty much running on reminders. I have reminders for everything: ordering a diaper, ordering groceries, ordering medicines, calling somebody, calling a friend on birthday. Everything is on reminders. So that is pretty much my life. I used to be a journalist. Now I'm trying to be a digital content creator. And let's see how it pans out.
Hi, this is Saumya, and I'm Chandan's friend, and I'm the other mother of the Mother of Podcasts. And I'm a relatively very new mother. I'm just 6 months down my motherhood journey, so don't expect any gyan from me. It will all be a lot of chaos from coming from my end. But yes, my pregnancy has been quite, let's say, adventurous, changing continents, and my even my birth after birth story has been quite adventurous. So this podcast, what you should expect out of this podcast is originally no gyan, no expertise from us at least. We'll get experts from you, from us at least, but yes, a lot of relatability and knowing the fact that a lot of things that we think aren't normal are maybe normal. So I really want to start this with Chanda's experience. First of all, Chanda and I go way back to 2015 when we met. 2015, 16, right? 2015, 16. Yeah. So
So we
we,
met in
bo-
ANI, and she was in my team. I was her editor, copy editor, and she was my producer. And it all started there, and we have been
yeah,
friends ever since. Friends, or I would say sisters from other mothers, as boys
yeah.
say, brother from another mother. So she's the third wheel in my marriage that my husband doesn't know. And when
Yeah.
I got pregnant, so her Instagram feed was filled with everything that is babies because she started looking for it. And
Yeah.
that is how close we are. That is how uh, we try to be in touch every day now, because after babies it's quite difficult. We have,
Yeah.
and she's in a different country, she's not here, she left me all alone.
It's quite difficult. You're not alone. I'm alone. Anyway,
And back to you.
yeah.
I won't say
So
I'm just
we've
a
been,
phone call away, because it's
yeah.
lots of planning and texting to have a call, but we're trying to be there for each other.
Yeah, and since we are on the topic, being there for each other, I think this this was a very important part of my afterbirth um, period. That having somebody, the importance of having that someone to share with when you are in your postpartum period. I know I'm jumping directly into a conversation and not running around it, but this is very important for me because I'm a part of a lot of mother groups, and I've realized that this the loneliness, the depression that comes along with postpartum It is so widely known, yet so not very well managed.
Yeah,
It's it's
I would.
it's
Uh,
so disheartening to see women with a house full of family members, but still feeling so lonely. So how did you manage this after your birth, your son's birth?
okay, so uh, when I was in the hospital after the delivery, I had a C-section. So
Hmm.
uh, I was, I did not, held my son for the entire day because I was recovering. He was in the nursery. So he got into the room at around 5 or 6, I would say. And I was very tired. Now when I look back, I realize कि मैंने उसको रात में ही उठाया. Everybody held him, his father, dada dadi. It was a COVID time, so we did not allow anybody. So it was just family, just my husband and my mom-in-law and dad-in-law. So I held him in the night only when he started crying for the first time for the food.
Hmm.
So I think there was this bond. Like when I heard him crying for the first time, I started crying. I did not expect that from me कि मैं रोऊंगी, but आंसू टपकने लगे. बट मैंने उसको नहीं उठाया और वो अर्ज, आई आई वुड नॉट से अर्ज भी हुई उसको उठाने की बिकॉज आई वाज सो टायर्ड. उसके बाद घर आए, ही वाज नॉट वेल, ही वाज इन एन आईसीयू फॉर अ डे and it was very heart shattering for us. I cried like anything. I fought with the hospital, authorities and everything. Some things were not right, and we got really scared. But we got home after 3 4 days, and my mom was here. I was relaxed. I was happy. My mom-in-law and my mother, they were both with me, but still something was missing. Like
Hmm.
I don't know. I was very emotional. I cried on very stupid things, I would say.
Yeah.
I
Oh, this
I
crying thing. Oh my God. I think for the first 2 months, मैं हर शाम को ऐसे शेड्यूल करके रोती थी. मतलब 6 से 7 मुझे रोना है, and howling रोना है, and my husband couldn't figure out why. So
think
and he was okay with it. He was like ठीक है रो लो कोई बात नहीं. But फिर भी
we cannot.
वो रोना, it cannot be explained why was that happening. Of course, it's all hormonal and everything, but in the present situation and what's happening around, क्यों रो रहे हैं नहीं समझ में आता था, right?
Huh. So
Everything is
I
well,
had.
you have all the
Huh.
help in the world, your baby is safe, healthy, whatever, your husband is
Being
there,
taken
everything is
care of.
fine.
You are being taken care
Yeah,
of. You are having a healthy
everything is
meal.
fine,
But
but
still,
still you want to cry. Why?
maybe we will invite some expert and talk about it.
Huh? And
So
how
I
to
had a
manage it.
friend. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
had a friend. We lost touch. She was my colleague in HD. We were together since 2013. We lost touch when she got married. She moved to Australia. She had a baby. So we lost touch. But when she came to know I was pregnant, she was there 24/7, available on the WhatsApp. So after the delivery, also, she constantly texted me, how are you feeling? Do you want to talk about anything? How are you feeling? You want to talk about your emotions and all of that. So I think that helped me a lot. She calmed me uh, in different ways. She helped
Hmm.
me.
Hmm.
And yeah, I think she was a
Okay.
big moral support. And
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
and one
Circling back.
yeah,
Yeah. Go.
and
Go.
one
Go ahead. Go ahead.
one thing that I could not understand was how our mothers did not remember how emotional they would have been when they
Oh, yeah.
gave birth to us.
I guess it's the grunt and the monotony of everyday life that sucks the joy out of you, and you forget the joy, and you just remember the, you know, ये किया, ये करना था. You take it like a chore. You take life like a chore and forget that you're actually
They remember the
living it.
birth stories, how they gave birth to us, but they don't remember the emotional part of it. Ki
Yeah.
what emotion they felt, what were they
Yeah.
feeling at the time.
आई थिंक वो वक्त अलग था थोड़ा चंदा, उस वक्त इमोशंस की बातें की नहीं जाती थी, ठीक है। उस वक्त जो लड़ाई थी वो ब्रेड एंड बटर की थी। वो उस वक्त जो लड़ाई थी वो बेसिक्स की थी। तो इसलिए शायद इमोशंस को ज्यादा तो तवज्जो ही नहीं दिया गया कभी। Probably, and I'm not saying that it's a great thing, but it is what it is, isn't it? So
So
circling
this
back,
was,
circling back. One second, I just want to go back. I want to talk about, to start with. I want to talk about, हम लोग कितना कैजुअली अभी प्रेगनेंसी की बात कर रहे हैं और बेबी की बात करें, बर्थ की बात करें। ये जो पूरा ट्रांजिशन होता है कि आप जब एक माँ नहीं होते हो और आप जब माँ बन जाते हो, वो लगभग 1 साल का होता है, 9 महीने, ठीक है, 9 महीने, आई वुड से 1 साल, ठीक है। आप सोचते हो कि आपकी लाइफ में प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। आप सोचते हो कि आपकी लाइफ में आप थकते हो। आप सोचते हो कि यू लव योर हस्बैंड, यू लव योर पेरेंट्स सो मच, यू लव योर फ्रेंड्स सो मच फ्रॉम योर हार्ट। बट वंस these little guys come out of you, how everything, and by everything I mean everything, changes.
yeah.
Like for me, my pre-baby life became irrelevant for me when I held my baby. Okay. तो ये जो ट्रांजिशन है, क्या ये बहुत छोटे टाइम पीरियड में नहीं होता है? डोंट यू थिंक सो? लाइक मतलब ये जो बस हमें 9 महीने देते हैं, क्योंकि कोई किताब भी नहीं है जो, मतलब कोई स्कूल
किताबें
भी नहीं
तो
है जो हमें
जितनी
सिखाता
मर्जी
है।
पढ़ लो, किताबें पढ़ लो, गाइडलाइंस पढ़ लो, अ, बातें कर लो, पॉडकास्ट सुन लो, योर पेरेंटिंग स्टाइल, योर बर्थ स्टोरी, योर ट्रांजिशन, इट विल बी योर स्टोरी। कोई भी, मतलब कोई ऐसा किताब ही नहीं है जो तुम्हें बता सकती है कि how you have to raise your child, how will you feel after you give birth to your child. So I think ये हर किसी की अपनी अपनी स्टोरी है। और वो ट्रांजिशन आई थिंक, बट आई व्हाट आई फील सौम्या इज, हमारे लिए तो स्टिल वी हैव 9 months कि वी कैन फील द बेबी इनसाइड अस, वी कैन, यू नो
फादर्स।
हमें पेन हो रहा है। फॉर फादर्स, because I remember when I told my husband that, we are pregnant, there was no reaction. Like he was happy and all, but he was numb for a few days.
Yeah,
And he was like, I'm not able to process it. I was like, he's like, you can feel it. Something is happening inside you. But I am not able to process it. कि
yeah, okay.
क्या होगा, कैसे होगा. तो
Get it, I get it. Maybe fathers can tell us in the comments how they felt when their wives told them, and was there like an immediate connect, or they took time even like after birth to connect. But
hmm.
yeah,
और वो ट्रांजिशन, आई
I'm
थिंक,
I'm not just talking about the transition from being a not a mother to a mother. I'm talking about the transition of, like, आज की जो ये हम ऐसे modern woman labeled है, modern woman है, जो कि बचपन से ये बोल के जिसको बड़ा किया गया है that you have to be financially independent and you have to work, and that is the goal in your life, ठीक है। जैसे फॉर इंस्टेंस मी, मुझे, आई डोंट रिमेम्बर a marriage conversation ever happening in my house before I turned 26. Okay. Um, I got married at about 28, but the first conversation that happened was about at 26. तो मतलब क्या होता है कि जब आप ये बच्चा पैदा होता है आपका, तो एकदम सडनली ऐसा फील होता है, यार ये क्या हो गया? मतलब मैं कहाँ थी और मैं कहाँ पहुंच गई? मतलब आई डोंट नो इफ एवरीवन फील्स दैट, बट आई फेल्ट दैट। क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मेरे साथ, क्योंकि बहुत ज्यादा इनसिक्योरिटी थी काम को लेकर के, बिकॉज प्रेगनेंसी के ही टाइम पर आई लेफ्ट माय कंट्री, आई लेफ्ट माय जॉब 4 months into pregnancy, and I left the country, I came to a new country, I tried finding a job here, but I was pregnant, trying to figure out the new country, new house, settling the new house without any help. मतलब it was too much for me. I couldn't find a job उस टाइम पर. Then मेरे अंदर वो काम को लेके जो इनसिक्योरिटी थी ना, मुझे लगता है कि वो इनसिक्योरिटी ने ही मेरा 9 महीना बिता दिया। ठीक है। और इवन आफ्टर बर्थ मैंने बहुत ज्यादा हेस्ट करके बहुत 1.5 महीने के अंदर ही नौकरी ज्वाइन कर ली, और फिर वो बहुत सारे रेपरकशंस हुए, विल गेट इनटू दैट लेटर, बट
मतलब
मतलब
आई
मुझे
वांटेड
लगता
टू
है,
से कि नहीं करो, बट देन यू वर
yeah,
सो
you did
एडमेंट।
say, you did say it. I didn't listen to you, and I know that that was a very very wrong thing to do at that point. बट मतलब वो मैं ये बोलना चाह रही हूँ कि ये जो ट्रांजिशन होता है, एक आप लड़की हो, आप एक स्कूल जाते हो, कॉलेज जाते हो, यू प्रिपेयर फॉर अ लाइफ, यू गेट इनटू अ करियर, पीपल आर पीपल हैव नॉर्मलाइज्ड मदरहुड सो मच कि मतलब कोई बात नहीं करता है इसके बारे में। आपके घर के, मैं आपके माँ बाप के बारे में बात कर रही हूँ, ठीक है, कि कोई आपको प्रिपेयर नहीं करता है। सबने नॉर्मलाइज कर रखा है, शादी होगी, बच्चे होंगे, हो जाएगा। भाई इतना नॉर्मलाइज करने वाली बात
नहीं
नहीं है
किया
ये।
तो तुम भी कर ही लोगे।
हाँ हाँ, ये नहीं है। आपका जीवन 50-60 साल पहले आप वैसे बड़े नहीं हुए थे जैसे हम बड़े हुए हैं। ठीक है। आपने इतना
नहीं,
नॉर्मलाइज क्यों किया हुआ है कि बच्चा करना इतना नॉर्मल है? नहीं है नॉर्मल भाई, नहीं है नॉर्मल। हम एक तो टिप ऑफ द फिंगर पे इतनी इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है। मतलब कुछ भी खाने से पहले, इज इट ओके टू ईट दिस इन 4th मंथ ऑफ प्रेगनेंसी, इज इट ओके टू डू दैट इन दिस मंथ। मतलब लिटरली हर वक्त आप या तो गूगल करते हो, या तो आप किसी फ्रेंड से पूछ रहे होते हो, या तो आप, इतना इंफॉर्मेशन, इतना टू मच टीएमआई है हम लोग के जमाने में। ठीक है, हमें ब्लॉक आउट करना पड़ता है इंफॉर्मेशन। तो यार आप कैसे एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे कि, मतलब मैं सीरियसली, आई वांट टू आस्क माय पेरेंट्स दिस क्वेश्चन, हाउ वर यू एक्सपेक्टिंग मी टू बिकम अ मदर और अ पेरेंट? You had to prepare me, or I don't know if parents had to do it or I had to do it myself. पता नहीं, बहुत ही कंफ्यूजिंग है ये मेरे लिए कि ये जो मदरहुड का प्रिपरेशन है, ये क्यों नहीं किया मैंने, राइट?
बट
और आप
सौम्या,
कितना भी, जैसे मैंने बहुत किताबें पढ़ी, मैंने बहुत किताबें पढ़ी प्रेगनेंसी के दौरान भी पढ़ी मैंने, इंस्टाग्राम रील नॉलेज भी बहुत हुई मेरे अंदर, ठीक है, लेकिन कुछ भी प्रिपेयर नहीं किया मुझे। तो
दैट इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से कि नथिंग कैन प्रिपेयर यू। आपको मेंटली, फिजिकली तो चलो आपकी बॉडी आपको प्रिपेयर कर रही है कि चेंजेस आ रहे हैं और ऐसे होगा वैसे होगा, पर मेंटली आपको, मुझे ऐसा फील होता है कि कुछ प्रिपेयर नहीं कर सकता। हर दिन आप अपने बच्चे के साथ, यू लर्न अ न्यू लेसन, दे टीच यू अ न्यू थिंग एवरी डे। दैट आई फील, दैट आई फील विद कबीर माय सन।
सी, आई एम नॉट इवन सेइंग दैट बच्चे को कैसे पालना है इज द प्रिपरेशन, आई एम सेइंग being prepared for parenthood. Okay, like the transition from, okay, I am responsible for a living being's life, वो
I
जो
have to feed
ट्रांजिशन,
him. हाँ, I have to feed
yeah,
him. I have to keep him alive. वो ट्रांजिशन तो सबका, आई थिंक सबकी जर्नी अलग अलग होती है। सम पीपल हु आर लाइक, फॉर यू इट वाज वेरी सडन, यू गाइस वर नॉट
yeah,
प्लानिंग टू हैव अ
yeah.
किड सो अर्ली। फॉर अस इट वाज लाइक वी वर preparing for it or planning for it, thinking about it, talking about it. So I think for you that was the difference because
Quite
it was,
sudden for me.
yes. So that is why I think it was quite sudden for you. इसलिए
Hmm.
थोड़ा सा नहीं, बहुत ज्यादा तुम्हें एडजस्ट करने में टाइम लगा। बट हर किसी की अलग अलग स्टोरी है।
Go any further, we want to talk about the idea behind this podcast and why we want to bring stories on this platform. Okay, so Chandra.
So I left my job when I like 6 months into my pregnancy, and I would say it was a conscious decision, but it was very hard for me post the birth of my son. I've been struggling to be a stay-at-home mom, so I'm trying everything that I can do uh, with being I want to be with my child, but I want to do something. So this podcast, we started this because we want to talk about what we feel as modern women, why uh, why I wanted to take a sabbatical and
Hmm.
still want to go to work. There's like this dilemma. and our raw conversations that we have every day, and what all mothers who are working, not working, like काम तो सब कर रहे हैं, चाहे ऑफिस नहीं जा रहे पर घर में काम सब कर रहे हैं। हम घर के काम को, हमें ऐसे बोला गया है कि वो काम नहीं है, मतलब ऐसे हमें रेस किया गया कि आपको ऑफिस जाना है, आपको कुछ करियर बनाना है, आपको कुछ अचीव करना
Hmm.
है। हमारी हमसे पहले वाली जनरेशन ने नहीं किया। उसके साथ साथ आपको घर भी संभालना है, बच्चा भी देखना है, और यू हैव टू मेक श्योर योर किड इज हेल्दी, यू हैव टू मेक श्योर ही इज डिसिप्लिन्ड, ही इज, यू नो, ही इज एवरीथिंग।
We'll get
सो
to that. We'll get to that. We'll get to the mom guilt of of thinking that anything I'm doing, I'm going to mess up my child. We'll talk. We'll get to that.
yeah. So we want to do this. We want to have these conversations with, like, either me and Soumya, or bring our friends or who are moms or
Let's.
experts
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
this show, so they can share their stories, they can share their
So
experiences.
basically this podcast is about stories, lots of stories, and we'll also get, if we get a lot of love from you, we'll also get a lot of experts who can help us answer your questions. But this is about stories. We want to know your stories, all right? We want to know how was pregnancy for you and how was birth for you. And we want you to feel heard, all right? And we want us to normalize a lot of things that we've been told are not normal. Okay.
We'll
For
try to make
instance,
it a safe space for all
yeah,
mothers and women, I would say, or parents,
yeah,
because भाई dads ने कुछ गलत नहीं किया है, they're also trying to
yeah.
figure out how to be these
And
modern
kudos to
dads.
dads. Kudos to modern dads. They're quite hands-on from the previous
Yeah.
generation. Yeah,
So we want you guys to connect with us, share your stories, use our safe space. We will try to make this as safe as possible, and
yeah.
tell
We
us
have a
how.
lot of big plans, by the way. We have a lot of big plans about getting you um, this safe space to share your stories. We'll get to all of that later, but yes, this is the whole idea behind it, and we want to reach out to as many as possible mothers, women planning to get pregnant, or who are experienced mothers, even grandmothers for that matter. We can have grandmothers come on and tell us their stories and how it was different back then. But yes, this space is stories, a lot of stories. Um,
No gyan from us.
at all, no gyan. There is enough gyan available today.
We'll
Aap
share what
jaiye.
works for us.
Yeah,
You can try
and you
it.
tell us what works for you.
Yes.
So we can share what works for each other. Like my son, I'll give you a for instance. Um, we are told that our babies drink milk as they grow up. They drink milk more in quantity and less in frequency, right? My son has gone down on both fronts. He drinks less in quantity and more less in frequency, and I don't know how to figure that out. So I'm still just WhatsApping and questioning on Google how to figure it out. So that's that. Um, there is 6 minutes left in 40 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is what we are trying to achieve with this podcast. We want to talk
Hmm.
about everything,
Authentic conversations, very authentic conversations.
and we will talk about parenting styles. We will talk about postpartum depression,
Yeah.
pre-pregnancy journeys, your transition stories,
Hmm.
mom guilts,
Yeah.
and maybe dad guilt also.
Maybe that good also. So I want to like wrap the first conversation here with Chanda's story. Just the entire pregnancy journey for that matter. Um, we'll get to childbirth maybe in the next episode, but let's talk about your pregnancy journey. How was so her son is named Kabir, and he's my baby, and he's also my trigger child. It was only after Kabir that I wanted a child very badly. So, Chanda, just take us through your pregnancy.
So, okay, me and my husband, we were trying to get pregnant nearly a year, and it happened after 1 year. And in 2022 June, we got to know that I am pregnant. And when I did the test, we were fighting. Like we had a fight before that. So I did the test. I told him that it's positive. He was like, okay, let's not jump, let's not be happy, because let's get the doctor wala blood test wala cheese. And
Yeah,
I was like, ठीक है, because
be
we were
careful. Yeah,
trying and it was not happening. So we wanted to be sure. So we got
yeah.
the test done and we got the reports. And then I shared the reports with him. I was working.
Hmm.
Work from home वाला time था, COVID का था. So I was working. I got the report. I saw it. I shared with him. I paused my shift. I went to the room and I was like, see, it says positive. And हम भूल गए कि हम लड़े हुए थे किसी बात पे. And then I told my mother-in-law. She started खुशी के आंसू. And बस उसके बाद 9 months were smooth for me, I would say.
Hmm.
I had gestational diabetes in the end, and I cried after that when I came to know, because for me, I wanted to eat everything in pregnancy because I'm a big foodie.
Hmm.
And it was smooth, and there were days when
Emotionally
I
कैसा था?
was emotionally, I would say, बहुत smooth था. कुछ
Hmm.
दिन ऐसे थे when I would feel कि किसी को समझ नहीं आ रहा कि मेरे साथ क्या हो रहा है. I was tired in my
Hmm.
first trimester. बाकी second and
Hmm.
third were good.
Hmm.
It was a happy
Stable
journey,
pregnancy.
stable
Hmm.
pregnancy, I would say. Not for my
Hmm.
doctors. They were like, दुनिया में जितनी भी चीजें हैं तेरे को सब हो रही है, and
Okay.
you don't have to worry about it. We'll take care about it. We'll talk about it, I think, in the next episode. It was stable for me. It was emotionally good for me. I was happy. People around me were happy. They were trying to make me happy. So yeah,
Hmm.
it was uh, very smooth. And
Okay.
yeah, that's how Kabir came into this world,
Yeah.
into my life.
February. Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Subscribe now and join our community of amazing mothers. Follow us on social media for more. Bye for now.